Good morning, and roll tide from One Love Yoga in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. This is a great morning class, and especially when we're kind of sticky in the side body. And we're going to do some standing poses as well. If you have a block or a strap or a belt, that might be helpful. But let's get started. So let's start off in child's pose. And if your hips don't meet the mat, you can just kind of place your block underneath your hips and just fall. I know for myself, I have, my hips aren't usually very forgiving in the morning. And just let your body just fall into the space. And start taking some deep breaths in through the nose, filling your belly. You might feel your belly touch against your thighs on the inhale, and then exhale. Just see if 1 millimeter at a time your torso can drop more heavily on your thighs. Letting go of any stickiness, softening. So with each breath, you inhale and maybe do a little extension in the spine. And exhale, just see if something can relax and release a little bit more. And now, let's walk our hands a little bit off to the right. And so it could be a foot to the right, maybe a couple of inches, depending upon where your body is this morning. And you'll feel a little tugging on the left side of the body coming from the outer pinky all the way down the hand. Just wherever is tight, you'll definitely feel it tugging, and just try not to go too far, but just enough to just notice where that tightness is. So for me, I have it in the outer left shoulder and my outer left hip, but you might feel it somewhere else. With each breath, you'll notice it even more, and just exhaling, just see if it'll soften. So the breath helps to tug, just the movement of your body, and the breath helps just adding just that little 1 millimeter of stretch. So now let's walk through center, our hands, and then over to the left side. And just see if this side feels a little bit different. And then for me, I notice just a little tightness on the upper back ribs. And just notice that we're opening the ability to breathe a lot deeper when we get some expansion in the torso into not only the back body, but the side body as well.
And so your lungs fill up like big balloons and move things slowly and subtly. And that's kind of what we want to do when we first start a yoga class. And then let's move our hands back to the side, back to the front, and then just kind of just come up into all fours. And if you are on a block, come off on the block. Man, this yoga mat is not very forgiving of the hard floor that I'm practicing on. So, so from here, let's see if we can just open up the side body a little bit more. So I'm going to start with the left side of my body. So extend the left leg out straight, staying on the right knee right now, and just plant the left foot, left heel, and then the right leg, the right shin can act like a kickstand as you just kind of sweep the arm back and up. And just notice, just take a breath here. And then see if it feels better if you extend the left arm overhead. So rather than trying to get the arm down, you extend it out. Keep reaching through the left hand and the left foot. And then just kind of sweep the left hand, left arm back onto the mat and draw the left knee back into all fours. And just kind of wiggle your hips back and forth. And let's see what the right side wants to do. So extend the right leg out and just plant the foot and then sweep the arm up. So start here into this knee down version of side plank. And then just see what happens when you slowly reach. So lots of times we hurry into, we do this side plank. We're like, oh, I usually do this with my foot up. Maybe not that right now. So often we rush ourselves into the more advanced version that we know we can do without just noticing the subtleties of the entry points. And how the whole body is involved in each pose. And so let's bring the right arm down. The right knee comes back in the chest, and just find just a little bit of movement in the hips here. Maybe do some figure eights with your hips. And then you can also just kind of play around with some wrist openers just by flipping the hands around and fingers pointed towards one another, just to warm up the wrists. And I always like to do some pop-ups just to kind of warm up the wrists a little bit. So that you might notice this if you've done a fitness class. So let's tuck the toes. Really give them a good tuck, because we're going to be gripping with the toes. And now feel the corset, feel your core engage. So what this means is you want to draw the hip points together. I mean, they're not going to come together, but imagine you're trying to squeeze yourself into a pair of jeans and zipping up. So imagine that zipping up and feeling the core engage. And now lift your knees just about an inch and hold here. Pressing in with the hands, and your back is going to be very flat, like you're doing a plank. So remember this core engagement here. So your core is your stabilizer. And then release. So let's do, we're going to do some Cobras to kind of warm up. And remember that core engagement that I was talking about. So lots of times when we do Cobra, we will use the hands. It's basically like a burpee. And so we just do like this. Okay? So we're basically just pushing up with our hands. And notice how my back is flat here. Instead, with Cobra, it's all about the core engaging. So wiggle your hips back. And then you're really not putting any weight in your hands. So let's try one with our fingertips on the mat, just kind of above your shoulders. Okay? So find that version, that core engagement. So just squeeze, zip up your core like we did earlier, and then pressing your thighs, your pubic bone into the mat, and see if you can just use your back muscles to roll yourself up. And then release. So try it again. Maybe you need to wiggle your hips further back. So first, draw your core in. Plant your pubic bone into the mat. Plant your thighs into the mat. Inhale and exhale. Use your back muscles. And your butt can be on fire, probably will be. So by engaging the core, you're protecting the lower back here. So let's try the traditional version of Cobra. So the hands plant just below the shoulders, very close to the ribs, and your elbows are actually going to be pointed towards the back of your mat, towards your feet. Okay? So remember, you're not pressing in with your hands, you're rolling your shoulders back. Engage the core the way we were doing. Plant your pubic bone, thighs into the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Pull. So now we have the full version of Cobra. And then release. And then just very slowly come on up. And you can go through child's pose for a moment. And then when you're ready, tuck the toes, raise your hips into downward facing dog. And pedal the feet. This is our first down dog of the class. And I always like to kind of sway my hips back and forth because the outer part of my hips just tend to get a little tense. So it just kind of helps the outer hips. And just kind of walk your feet to your hands, bending the knees a lot, and just kind of sway your hips this way. So you're bending the knees a lot as you're just kind of really kicking your hips back and forth. And then slowly just come on up to standing. If you're not at the front of the mat, just step close to the front of your mat. All right, so we're going to be doing a few sun salutations. So we lead with a different foot depending upon what we're doing. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And you can clasp your hands together or not. Just kind of reach over to the right. Inhale, come on up. Reach over to the left. Inhale, come on up. Maybe do a little bit of a back bend. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hams. Step the right foot back first, knee down here. You can untuck the toes here. We're going to do the first couple with our knee down. Sweep the arms up overhead. And then reach over to the left side. And then plant the hands, straighten the front leg. And you can pick up the foot if that feels good for you. So we're moving a little faster than I will be doing in the class I'm teaching in a moment. And then bend the front knee. Step back into plank. And you can knees, chest and chin. Just however you can come down into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Remember that cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes. Raise the hips, downward dog. And we're leading with the right foot again. Inhale, right foot steps forward. Drop the back knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale. Let's kind of sweep the left arm over. Just get that side body stretch again. Inhale, back up. Exhale, extend the front leg, half split. Just kind of wiggle the hips here. And then bend the front knee again. So you can stay on your knees here, come back into plank. So you can lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog, your choice. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Actually, I did that wrong, but this is okay. And then step your feet to your hands. Do things a little differently today. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, side body stretch over to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, side body stretch to the left. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, left foot steps back. knee down. So it's a little bit different, a little bit the same. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, left arm reaches over. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, extend the front leg. And then bend the front knee. Of course, I can't even read my notes. Bend the front knee, kickstand the left shin. Inhale, side angle. It's a version of side angle. We just kind of hang out here for a little bit. So just know that we are going to be doing the standing version after a couple more cycles, I guess. And then sweep the shin back around. And then step. You can come back into plank or just this knee down version of plank and then lower all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, Cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, raise the hips, downward facing dog. So we're leading with the left hand foot again, so step the left foot forward, bend the back knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, extend the front leg straight. Half splits. And feel that stretch. Bend the front knee. Sweep the shin around. Inhale. And then just come into your version of side angle. And just hang out here for a moment as you get a nice stretch in the hips, because the hips really, goodness gracious, they get a lot of tension in there. Inhale, just come back up. Sweep the shin around. So since we mucked up the Sun Salutation on the one side, let's do another vinyasa. So step back into plank, or in the knee down version of plank, lower into chaturanga or all the way down. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then just walk the feet to the hands, or you can do your version of your hop, float, which is usually not available to me first thing in the morning. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, sweep over to the right. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, maybe extend into a back bend. Pop. Exhale, fall forward. A little bit of a change here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back. Keep the leg extended, or you can just put the knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale,
side body stretch. Inhale, open up into your warrior two. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Inhale, reach over to the front of your yoga mat. And then exhale. Just do a little bit of a triangle here. Just this is a nice standing pose. And so the front knee isn't going to be locked out. And if you want to grab your block, you can do so. Just find the stability here in this pose. Inhale, sweep up. Bend the front knee again. Come into your warrior two. Maybe open up your stance a little bit if that feels good. And now let's do a little side angle. So this looks a lot like the one that we just did, but it just touches other places in our hips, in our thighs. And then let's come back into our lunge, turning onto the back toes. And step back into plank. You can do your knee down plank, or you can lower into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And then we are going to inhale, right foot steps forward. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, sweep over. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Lean your torso over. And then exhale, just wherever the hand wants to go. Come into your triangle. So pushing off in the back leg, the outer blade of the left foot planted. The toes of the front foot stabilizing. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, bend through the front knee. Lean over into your version of side angle. So I always like to have my, especially on this side, I like to have my hand just kind of folded around my lower back, because sometimes we can crouch too much into this by trying to get the bind without just feeling a nice relaxation in the shoulder here. Inhale, just come on up. Come on to the back toes. Exhale, step back into plank. Lower into chaturanga. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step, float, hop your way to come into forward fold. Shake out the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, samastiti. So let's do just a couple of standing poses. And lots of times we don't like to stay in standing poses for a long time, but standing poses are really important for us because we lose the ability to balance on one leg through time. So I'm going to back up a little bit. So let's try tree. So just come on to the toes of the left foot. And maybe you can bring the toes on the ankle. Open up the left hip. So the hip is very open. The right leg is stable. And just maybe draw the foot a little bit higher. You don't want to rest the foot on the knee. So sometimes if we don't have the mobility to actually move it up on our own, you can just grab the foot and place it on, whoops, it's hard for me to talk and teach at the same time. Place it on the inner thigh and dig the heel into the thigh. Just find a focal point in front of you if you can. And then just slowly just unwind and then shake it out. And let's try the other side. So plant the toes, just solid, because lots of times we cock the hip, and that just, we want to make sure that we are maintaining our stability in the hip. So just find just your kickstand first, and then maybe just walk. Just find a stability here, find a focal point 2 or 3 feet in front of you. Or you can grab the foot, grab the ankle, and place it on the inside of the thigh. And maintain your tree through the core. It's hard for me to find my drishti and keep track of time. Just notice the muscles of the foot, the standing foot, just kind of working to keep you stable. Core is stable. And then release. And shake it out. So here's where you want to grab your strap, because we're going to do dancer's pose. So we started with our right foot. And so you can just loop your strap or belt around your left toes. And this might be your dancer's pose for today. But if you want to go a little bit further, you can grab the strap around behind you. And remember to stand tall. And then kick in. So find a back bend first. And kick in with the toes of the left leg. And so that might be just enough for you. Or you can just kind of open up a little bit more by placing it back into your left hand and raise your right arm overhead. And then kick the back foot away from you as you lean forward. And kind of teeter-totter your way around. So this is a good shoulder opener on the left side and a leg hip strengthener on the right. So let's come on up and release, relax. Woo! Your right leg might be on fire right now like mine is. Let's shake it out. Gotta keep an eye on my time. Let's plant the left toes. And grab your strap and just hook the right foot around. Hey! This is my coordination this morning. So this might be your version of dancer pose. Just kind of hanging out and getting the beautiful quad and hip stretch. So right now I'm kind of sagging into my left hip. And that's not very stable. Instead, you want to stomp and grow tall into the tree, feeling the core engage, growing tall first. And if you want to grab just the strap in the one hand, open the shoulder, raise the left arm overhead, go tall in your spine, feel that core engage, and then press your back leg away from you. Avoid opening the knee too far out. Instead, you just want to just allow the leg to kick behind you as you draw forward. Ooh. And then come on up and release. So this is two pretty strong poses for standing and stability. So let's inhale, sweep the arms back overhead. Exhale, fall forward. And just give the legs a little bit of a stretch. A little bit of a whale here. And then plant the hands. Step back into knees down into a child's pose. Just come on around and cross the right leg over your left. And then if that's not accessible to you, just sit on a block or two. It just helps me make it a little bit more accessible. And if this still is not really accessible, you can just fold the shins down. So having the right shin in front of the left. But otherwise, let's see what happens when we just do a little bit more hip stretches here. So plant the right hand over to your right side. Inhale, sweep the arm up overhead. And then exhale, just like we were doing earlier, fold over to your right. And just notice if your body is a little bit more supple as we do these side bends. And breathe here. In. Inhale, come on up. And then see if we can maybe fold forward over the legs,
over the thighs. Just millimeter by millimeter, just let the legs get a little bit of a release, especially after those standing poses that can really work to strengthen the hips, but now we relax them. Just walk the hands up, torso up, and then open the legs. And just maybe wobble the legs back and forth. Now cross the left leg, the left knee over the right. Just position yourself however it feels good. And the left hand just kind of points down. Inhale, sweep the arm up overhead. Exhale, fold over. Be mindful of the left shoulder, that you're not dumping all the weight in. You still want to press in with the right thigh. So the core is still engaging to stabilize you so you're not falling too far over to the left. Notice if there's a little bit more release here. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, let's just fall forward. So again, if you have the cross-legged version, just crossing one shin, just know that it's not necessary to drop the head all the way to the ground. We have just enough of a leaning forward rather than leaning down and arching the spine. The spine is somewhat neutral. And just notice if there's any gripping in your hip. See if you can let that go. And let's walk the hands back up. And remove the block. Still keeping an eye on my time. Just lay on your back and draw your right knee into your chest. And I like to remove all of my hair clips, whatever I have, because that can sometimes compress the neck. And just draw the right knee in really, really deep and extend the left leg straight. Maybe just flexing the foot. So you're getting a little bit of a hip stretch on the left. And then open the right knee to the right just for a moment, just by keeping the left hip where it is. Just noticing the tightness that you might feel. And then folding the right knee over to the left, opening the right arm like a wing, and just getting this nice, beautiful lying twist.
And I like these lying twists because I actually get a nice little opening in my shoulders, because the front of the shoulder, the pec muscles and stuff, gets really compacted by our leaning over, whether it's just even leaning over when we're driving, leaning over when we're looking at our phones, computers. And let's draw the right knee back into the chest. Just give it one last squeeze and switch. So draw the left knee in. Just maybe do some sacral massages here first, and then extend. So again, really extend the right leg away from you. And maybe open up the left knee a little bit while keeping mindful of the right hip. And then draw the left knee back in, grab it with your right hand and sweep over to the right. And sometimes it helps if you have a block or bolster, if your knee doesn't make it all the way down to the floor. For me, it always does. It just takes a lot of time. And then open the left arm like a wing. So that might not even open up just yet, but just know that you have plenty of time. Breathe in deep and exhale. So through time, the muscles and all the fascia eventually just like realize that you're not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's okay to slowly release the grip. And then let's slowly draw the left knee back in. Just maybe one more sacral massage, just kind of drawing both knees in. And then extending your legs into a Shavasana. And so, although this won't be a guided Shavasana, you can stay here as little as much as you want. But I recommend just a couple of minutes in Shavasana, just to kind of get a feel for how your body is now compared to the beginning of the practice, and maybe if your body is a little bit more open, a little bit more resilient. Or you can just go ahead and watch my next video on Shavasana.